My name is Bill Haley for the Facebook page called Pockets of Freedom. It is a new idea about how to help relieve the oppression of the world's people and give them a place to be free. And so this is a new idea. I'm an American, but I want to use American military and American money right now to start this. But then it's not going to take more additional money. The money's there'll be a funding source coming through the Pockets of Freedom, because when people are free, they can be prosperous and then pay their way, pay for the land that they're going to be using, paying taxes and the like. So let's just go through the whole deal, and I'll give you an overview. Then I want to spend about 15-20 minutes on this, but then give you each bullet point, give you a new video on a couple bullet points each or whatever. So we'll do some additional videos to do this. So let's go with this. So I'm going to do a lot of my commenting on Facebook. I have this on YouTube and a lot of other social media as well. But I want a lot of my comments to be done on the Facebook page called Pockets of Freedom. You can find it. If not, go right to my internet page, Haley2024.org. You can find Pockets of Freedom, and you can find the pages on all my social media that will put this out. Okay, so let me go through the bullet points. Hundreds of pockets of freedom, hundreds of legitimately acquired land, roughly 1,000 square mile plots of land around the world. So obviously we start with a few just to get our feet wet and make sure we smooth out, iron out a lot of the wrinkles. But ultimately, hundreds across the world from every continent. The ones that make sense. Asia definitely makes sense. Europe, some in Europe definitely makes sense. Middle East definitely makes some sense. Africa definitely makes some sense. Australia, no, they're fine. But anybody, and to be honest with you, Australia, if they want it, but they can do their own. But it's an idea that doesn't have to be strictly American. It can be done by other people as well. Okay, but these are roughly 1,000 square miles, which is only, 100 miles by 10 miles? So 40 miles by 25 miles. So we're not talking huge pieces of land here, but I want to keep these down to about 1 million people per plot of land. So what we talk, let me just go over it a little bit. Let's go through the bullet points, because if I get off my bullet points and then start talking, the bullet points will address it later. So let's just keep on doing it. So these areas are going to be U.S. military protected. So I want to move a lot of our U.S. militaries in other people's lands to the Pockets of Freedom. So where we get the land legitimately, negotiations and free trade and stuff like that. And hey, we might offer people over in Africa for some protection from our U.S. military if they're willing to give us a piece of land, let their people be free, get some commerce going and the like. So we're going to really make sure we have free enterprise and liberty in this land. The purpose of the Pocket of Freedom is to give any citizen of the world a place to escape tyranny and oppression. So we have immigration laws that deal with oppressed people, who can't go back to their land because they fear for their safety. So I want to be able to send them to these places, not necessarily in U.S. borders, current borders, but hey, in Central America, South America, get some plots of land, very uninhabited, by the way, to start with, and then let that grow. So instead of people coming up through Central and South America, coming up through Mexico and going to the United States, they can go to these Pockets of Freedom. They will have freedom, liberty, and free enterprise, and they can make a living. And we'll talk about how we can get commerce going and business going and investments going in there. The second purpose of the Pockets of Freedom is to incentivize other countries to improve their citizens' lives or see a significant exodus. So a lot of countries are losing a lot of people, but they're not changing their ways very easily. They still want to be a dictator. And some of that's still going to happen, but more people leaving will encourage them to do better. because a lot of countries don't want their people to leave. Now, obviously, they want more of their undesirable people, the criminals and the like, to leave. But anyway, but this will give a place for freedom for people who are legitimately seeking amnesty and stuff. The third purpose of the Pocket of Freedom is to improve Americans' immigration system. So instead of people just pouring across our borders, we're sitting here in February of 2024, and there's a big discussion about just how many people are pouring across our southern border, and this could help significantly. And given that we're having probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4 million people crossing that border every year, yeah, we put 4 or 5, put one of these out there, 2 or 3 a year, and it fills up to 1 million people. Create commerce, create free enterprise within that. Let the corporations go in there and start businesses, because hey, you have customers and you have workers. You're going to have businesses. Plus, they're going to have free enterprise. So that's a bonus. The plan is to legitimately acquire dozens of roughly. Okay, I already did this one. Why is it going backwards? Okay. Okay. The Pocket of Freedom will have CRA structure. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's Competitive Regulatory Agency, Competitive Governance Structure, which you can look at my website to find out more about that at Haley2024.org. There would be strong banishment laws within the social contract to reduce subversive actors. So if people come in there that are drug dealing and they're doing mob activity, they're doing gang activity, we're going to have easy ways to banish them quickly. A judge can say, hey, if you just if you just got caught shoplifting, we're not going to throw you out. But if you get caught raping and killing and doing thug activity, gang activity, we're going to be able to get you out of there quickly. The system will allow small loans for moving expenses and startup expenses with a 10% income repayment plan. So these are something I call share loans. So some of these people need just a flat out startup money, and it can be more than 10%, it can be less than 10%, depending on how much startup money they need. But we'll have a system to do that. The full system with the charity economy and the like will just be able to get people to get started. And especially when you combine it with my new monetary policy and just a lot of the reforms I have, and competitive charities, just a lot of reforms I have. We're not going to a welfare state on this at all. I'm sure there'll be ways to help the poor, and the system will do that, competitive charities and the like. Okay, the charity system can assist rapidly. So when people come in, they have no money to their name whatsoever. The charity system can start them working day one, get them working until they find themselves a job. They can gain themselves a job. There's a lot to do, but at least you can work right from day one. You can put as many hours as you need in as you look for that job, permanent job. As you create that permanent job, that charity system can kind of create a business for you and help you start that business. There's a lot to it. The CRA structure allows for rapid business creation. Just talking about that a little bit. They will work closely with the charity economy and banks and the full system. First world governance, liberty and free enterprise advance people from the third world quickly. So there's a lot of people from the third world who come in here from very bad conditions, but they are humans. They're made in the image of God, and they can very easily be brought to a point where they can be very productive and support themselves and their families rapidly. When you give them first world governance, when you give them liberty and free enterprise, and the backup charity system to assist them, because the charity system is going to force them to help others as they do it. So they're going to force them to do some work in exchange for what they're getting. But it's all voluntary. Don't. If you want help from the charity system, you're gonna have to put help in. At least most of the people are gonna make you do that. So there's a lot to the charity system. Okay, a lot more to see on Haley2024.org. So this is just a quick video on the full overall system, and we'll try to give you more bullet points and smaller videos around this area. Until the next video.